Hello, Literates. I'm Britt. This is my channel, Brittwriterly, and welcome back to Girl, What You Reading? So this is my weekly reading update where I talk about something that I am in process reading. Am I still in process with Delicious Monsters? Yes, but I already told y'all that. I want to talk about another book because I'm multi-reading. I'm a multi-reader because I'm a mood reader, so it's kind of inevitable. I am also reading, I started reading yesterday, 2 days ago, Always Watching by Lynette Eason. So I told y'all, I don't know if you can see this. Now we can see a little something. Anyway, I told y'all maybe at the beginning of this year, or yeah, around January, which is only February, so long ago, that I wanted to read more Christian fiction. And so because my debut self-published novel, A Church Girl's Guide to Courting Danger, is a Christian romance, but specifically it's a like Christian romance with bodyguard romance feels. I really want to read more Christian like bodyguard romance to understand more of the niches of that genre. I've read a lot of bodyguard romance before, but I just wanted to see how different it was in the Christian genre. Not necessarily that different. So anyway, because of that, I chose to read some of Lynette Eason's works because she is pretty prolific in Christian fiction, and she's got a whole series of female bodyguard romance. It's like the woman is the bodyguard, which I am finding interesting. So let's get into it because this is book 1 of the Elite Guardians series, and it is called Always Watching. So Olivia is the protagonist. If you've been here for a while, you know Britt never remembers the woman's name, but I do for this one because I was just listening to it. So the woman's name is Olivia. It's her agency. She founded it and still works as a bodyguard within it. And Wade is the guy that she's protecting. She's fallen for him. He's definitely putting down vibes like, girl, I'm feeling you, mac, mac, mac. And she's like, I don't do this. He also has a child. So he has a stalker. The reason Olivia is on the case, and the case is different than any before, is because she'd already assigned a protection detail to him and his family, which is him, his daughter. I don't believe we've heard how old Wade is. I think she said she's 27, and he probably is older than that, but he might be around that age actually, because he got married right the day after high school, and they had their daughter a year later, so he might actually be the same age as her. Anyway, his family is him, his daughter, and I think I missed hearing the relationship between him and Maggie. He keeps calling her Amy's aunt, I think, which means she may be, I think it's the sister of his late wife who died in a drunk driving accident. She was drunk. She was coming home. She ran off the cliff. Now, I am just like, I wonder if that's the truth. It's pretty clear from this point that the stalker is someone very close to Wade, because the things that they know about him, no one would know unless they were close to him. And so and I think the stalker is a woman. Actually, I think the stalker is a team of at least 2, one woman who is leading it, and she might have recruited the help of a man, because they've seen a man on camera, but only recently. It's usually a woman who's calling in. He has a radio show. It's a woman who calls in 3 or 4 times a night and says all this weird, mysterious stuff, and it's like, well, I really care about you, I love you, blah, 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 all these things. And then something happened. She called into the radio show. She didn't like what he said to her. She hung up on him. Boom, they hear someone walking above them in the attic, and just as they're about to leave, Olivia's like, wait, I've been watching that door the entire time. What's there? And it's like a tripwire, and the place is rigged with bombs because she didn't like what he said. Now, I think she was gonna blow them up regardless, because you don't just put C4. It was a pretty crude device, but still. C4 don't just appear. You was already planning that. So I'm not sure what Wade could have said to make you not want to blow him up. But I'm no longer convinced from there and from something she did later that this is a woman who is like the kind of stalker who loves them, who's infatuated with him. I don't think she's infatuated with him. I think she's obsessed with him because of something that he did that pissed her off. I don't think that she loves him. I think that may have been like a misdirection from the beginning, but every now and then we pop into her POV and it's giving negative. So I'm just like, there's a bit of a psychological, I don't know if I say psychological thriller. There's a little bit of a psych element to it because there's so many misdirections. It starts off with her giving him chocolates, his favorite chocolates, and then we move to blowing you up, and then she gives him a teddy bear in the beginning of the book. They confiscate it, they take it, they give it to the lab tech. It was covered in blood. Turns out it was covered in blood because it's the blood of one of the bodyguards. So, as I said earlier, this is not a normal case for Olivia. She had already assigned him a detail for him, his wife, and his sister-in-law of his late wife. Who he had assigned to them was this woman named Maddie, and she got her neck split open. And she was in critical condition for half the book. It's only in the last like few chapters that they've been like, she's still out, but she is less out than she was before. Like, she has not woken up since she was attacked, but she was in a deep coma. She's sort of coming up, like the brain activity is coming up. And the teddy bear that was given to Wade early in the book soaked in her blood. So, like, intentionally soaked in her blood. So I'm just like, you saved it? Interesting. And then inside the teddy bear was a note that was like, you shouldn't have done that, now you're gonna pay. So I'm like, oh, okay. So from the beginning, it hasn't been this, oh, I love you. From the beginning, it has been acrimony. So I'm really interested in who it is. I have a couple of ideas, but every idea is kind of just as likely as not. Like, I think that his wife might have been murdered because he's from a rich family. The wife pretended like they were high school sweethearts, but when she got pregnant, because they got married and they both still went to college, and so they were out, they were partying, they were living their regular child life, except not child, young adult, new adult, emerging adult life, except for that they were married. And so she got pregnant. She was pissed. He was like, well, it wasn't the plan, but he wasn't angry about it, but she was like, it disrupted her party life routine. So she was out constantly. She left him to raise Amy. They were still married technically, but she was out with like boyfriends and was started getting hooked on hard drugs. Like, she was not present. And so she went to visit one of her friends, Joanna, who is still in Wade and Amy's life now, was visiting Joanna. On the way back from Joanna, drunk, she ran off a cliff. I'm just like, hearing that for the first time in the middle of the book, I was like, all right, it feels like something else could possibly be happening with that, because I don't know, maybe either that wasn't really what happened, or because that happened, someone close to the wife I think is now after Wade because they blame him for her death somehow. Because I am fully convinced that the girlfriend he had after his wife, and not soon after either, but like I said, he was young when all this happened. So now that he's in his late 20s, he's had some distance from it because it happened when he was in his early 20s. Fresh out of high school and college, like, it was early in his life. And so he started dating a woman. They weren't in love, but they loved each other. They had respect for each other, and they were like, all right, I can see a partnership marriage happening where, you know, my daughter loves you, you love my daughter, you want to be a politician. She was abused as a child, the woman who he was dating. I think her name is Justine? I don't remember. Anyway, she had been abused as a child, like sexually. So she was like, I don't really ever want to be in a romantic, like intensely intimate relationship. And he was like, my wife died, it was pretty traumatic. I don't want to love again either, like that deeply. So they were like, okay, mutual respect, bueno. So, bueno? Bien. So they had decided to get married, and she committed, content warning, she committed death by suicide. And so when they're going to church, this happened before the book, right? They're at church, and Olivia is not really a churchy person because her foster sister, well, her adopted sister, She was adopted into this family. Their daughter was therefore her sister. She was really close to her. They were in the faith. She would go to church with that sister. The sister died, and so Olivia no longer is like, I don't want to do the God thing anymore. So she's going to church with Wade, not super happy to be there. And then something happens. Someone creates a really big, like, booming sound from a movie to cause panic, and Wade's daughter Amy runs into the bathroom because she has anxiety. I think she has like an anxiety disorder, and she runs into the bathroom. Only her friends know that that's where she goes when she's about to have a panic attack, because she likes small spaces because it makes her feel in control of the entire space. So she runs to the bathroom, locks herself in the stall, lights are on. Someone comes in after her, turns the lights off, and it's like, Amy, I know you're here, da-da-da-da. Tell your dad I know what happened to Josephine, I think, which is his first wife, her mom. She runs out of the bathroom. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, because from what we saw in Amy's POV, the person grabbed him. Like, they touched her shoulder. So I'm just like, if they'd wanted to take Amy, they could have. So clearly they're trying to terrorize Wade by terrorizing Amy. So she goes, she's freaking out, all these things, and says, I forgot to tell you, she told me to give you a message that they know what happened to Josephine. And so, I'm not getting it mixed up. Either it's the wife or the girlfriend, I don't remember. Either they were like, I know what happened to your wife, or I know what happened to your girlfriend. They only gave the J name, I don't remember which one that is. But the point is, because they asked that, Olivia was like, well, what did happen? And he ended up telling her about both of them. Because of that, it was the girlfriend. Because of that, Olivia was like, because she had never known. Like, everyone, it was a big society thing, because the woman had been wanting to be a politician, which is the reason that she wanted to get married, because female politicians look better when they have a family. She didn't want a family, so she was like, I'll come into your instant family. I respect you. I love your daughter. That was their agreement. Then she turned her dead, and she had sent Wade a text saying, I'm sorry, I'll miss you and Amy. And so when he tells Olivia that, she's like, that's what happened? I heard about it, kind of, but I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't know that that's what happened. That's sus. I've never heard of a last note being a text, and I've also never heard of the person who is killing themselves saying, I miss you. Now, me personally, I didn't take that as a red flag, because I'm like, what? It's fine for someone to miss someone they're going to leave. I mean, I get the idea that, like, when someone is doing that, often they think that they are making life harder for those that they love, and so they consider it mercy, taking themselves out of that person's life. But for them to still say that I will miss you, like, that doesn't raise any red flags. So I'm not sure I'm tracking with how Eason, the author, wrote that to be like, something is sus here. I think something is sus, but I don't think it's because of what she said in the text message, because I was thinking whoever killed her probably wrote it. But I think it's sus that it was a text message, therefore you're not able to do like a handprint analysis. But I do think that someone should do an analysis of her speech patterns to see if that matches with other texts. But it's not the content. Her saying that she misses them didn't raise any flags. So I'm just like, was there another way to get there? I don't know. But anyway, so Olivia's exhuming this woman's body to see if it was really murder or if it was suicide. And so because of that, I'm like, I think that maybe the wife's death wasn't an accident either. Maybe someone has been trying to take women out of Wade's life because they want to be with him. But then when we got into the POV and all of a sudden it was more acrimonious, like, I'm going to kill you no matter what, I was like, maybe she doesn't love him. Maybe she's mad about something that he did with the wife. And so maybe it's someone from the wife's life, the late wife's life, that doesn't want Wade to know happiness because they blame him for how his wife died. I don't know. That's where I am and always watching. When I picked up the title, I thought that always watching was because it was a bodyguard romance and Olivia and her bodyguards were always watching. But now I think it's because there's a stalker who seems to be very, very close to him. Closer, like the whoever is stalking, whenever we get in their POVs, she, he, they, whoever, are always very, very confident that no one is going to see them coming. And so I'm just like, who is it? I wondered if it's the late wife had two friends, Maggie, who may be her sister and is still like lives in the apartment upstairs from Wade and Amy, and then Joanna, who is a very close friend. Maggie, and the wife were all BFFs in high school, so they're still in each other's life except for the late wife who's dead. And so I thought maybe it's Joanna because she seems a little flighty. She's never settled down, but she's always dating. She's always moving because she's like, oh, that's how you get the better deals on apartments, when you're always getting like move-in deals. I'm just like, I'm not sure the math is on your side with that, but okay. But it's the always moving, it's the never settling down. I'm just like, are you waiting for Wade to notice you? What is it? Maggie is super close to the family. If it was her, I'd be like, okay, that would be a twist. It'd be a twist. Something happened on a boat where chocolates were once again given to Wade, and he stopped his daughter from eating them because he thought that they might be poisoned. Because this is after the bomb, and he's like, okay, the stalker's escalating. That could be an actual like attempt on my life. The first chocolates, he let his daughter eat them because the stalker was still being pretty benign, acting like she was an admirer. She hadn't upgraded to a full-on stalking yet. So when he sees these chocolates, he snatches them away. Maggie was supposed to be on the boat with them that day, but she wasn't because she said she had a migraine. And then we went to a POV, and that's where the stalker was like, it's time for you to die, you're never going to see me coming. And so that's when I was like, Maggie was supposed to be there, she's not. Now we see the stalker is aware of them or watching them potentially from somewhere, thinking that no one's going to see her coming. Maybe it's Maggie. I do not know who it is. And so in that way, bravo. Because I have no idea. There are several people that it could be. It could be Josephine because she's flighty. Joanna, the friend. It could be the friend because she's flighty. It could be the sister-in-law because she wasn't there that day. I don't know. I honestly don't really have any other big ideas of who it could be, but barring some nameless shadow from the wife's life. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. I'm reading Always Watching. It's keeping me plugged in and guessing, so that's a positive. And yeah, I'm just... enjoying it's a strong word. I am intellectually engaged. I am annoyed by things like Amy. I don't know how old she is, but she's a little brat. Now, not fully, but just some of the ways that she be talking to Wade, I'm just like... And not that he doesn't check her like, excuse me, young lady, but some of the things... Like, she almost ate that potentially poisoned chocolate because she came up on deck and was like, on the boat, and was like, oh, Dad, here are these chocolates, can I have some? Had not yet opened it. And he said, let me see those. And she opens the box, takes out a chocolate, and is like, can I have one first? And he's like, I'm not sure. I did not put those there, so I just give them to me first. And she starts to eat it. And had Joanna not come up behind her and slapped it down, she would have eaten it. You asked your dad if you could have it, and he at no point said yes. He said, give it to me, and you continue to try to eat it. When you know there's a stalker. Stupid. I'm sorry. Stupid. Stupid. You're not that young. She's not that young. She's 12. She's 12. Stupid. I was like, Amy, are you trying to die? Is that what the goal is? What? And then when Joanna slaps it down, she starts crying and runs downstairs. I was like, Amy, I have nothing left for you. I not in this scene. Just leave me alone. What? You were too old to be having tantrums because you couldn't have chocolate. Ma'am, I know kids IRL and who are doing that. They're half your age. They're 6. They don't actually run. And also I think it's a cultural difference because ain't no way. None of the black kids in my life would ask for something. They might eat it without asking. But at the point that you ask for it, you're explicitly in the parent's domain of authority. If you ask for it, now you have to wait for their answer. They would not ask for something, and then when the parent does not say yes, says, give it to me, open it and begin eating it. That's a little flagrant. So stuff like that where I'm just like, either this is a cultural mismatch for me as the reader, not on the author's part. Either I'm experiencing this sort of dissonance because culturally I'm just like, no way. And then also I'm just like, is this believable? Like, is this how kids behave? Not that kids don't do self-willed stuff, but just like, you know that your dad has a stalker. This is after the church thing when they just scared the bejeezy out of you. You don't hear him saying, I didn't put that there? I don't know. I don't think that kids are stupid. I don't. Like, I think that kids actually are very observant and intelligent. They don't know everything about the world, but that doesn't make them stupid. For you to have witnessed and been a part of the escalation of this stalker and to not be like, oh, dad didn't put this here, that scene really took me out. And then her tantrum afterwards really took me out. And so I'm just like, moments like that, moments where the romance between Wade and Olivia really seems to be, I'm just like, what? I'm missing the progression of this. I'm missing where I don't know. I feel like I'm super into the whodunit. The who is it. I do not feel like I'm super into the romance. I don't care if Wade and Olivia end up together. I know that they will because it's a bodyguard romance. But I don't really care about them as a couple at all. And actually, whenever he tries to get close to her, I get annoyed because I'm just like, I don't see, like, now there have been, but like the first time I really noticed it happening, I was like, I don't see any reason why you should think you have the right to request some of the stuff that you're requesting. Tell me about your past. Tell me why you don't like this. Tell me why you don't like that. Sir, I'm your bodyguard. I am not some woman you're meeting in a bar or even at church. You don't have the right to ask me personal questions. The personal questions that I ask you are not because I want to get to know you better. They're because someone's trying to kill you and I think they know you. So we don't have this quid pro quo exchange where I'll tell you if you tell me. If you want to play with you in your daughter's life, you go right ahead, but I don't tell you anything. So it's the way that he's like pushing, and then when she shuts him down and he walks away, she feels like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have told him. On what grounds? Your Honor, on what grounds? It's that kind of stuff where it's just like, it's not an insta love, but the feelings of I owe him this from Olivia, and the feeling of I want to push for this for him, the way they're stacking up feels disjointed. It doesn't feel earned. It just feels like it's dropped in after the fact on top of the whodunit type of thing. So those are my current feelings. I don't care about them, and actually he quite annoys me because he treats her too much like a regular woman and not a bodyguard. Something will happen, she will run out to investigate, he will run out after her like, I want to make sure you're okay. That's insulting to me and very, very aggravating. My God, I'm running for 23 minutes. I gotta go, y'all. Anyway, yeah, it's annoying to me. I have a gun, and I am, she used to be a cop. I'm fully trained. You are a rich boy who's a radio personality and, not a benefactor, but like a humanitarian, which is great. He's not a bad person, but like, I'm trained in this, you're not. Stay in your lane. The fact that he ran after her and put himself at risk, which put the entire situation at a higher level, because now I have to protect myself, but here my agent's moving around, try to communicate with them and also protect you. So I can't just shoot out into whoever I know is coming, even if I know that, okay, my agents are not in this position, they're not in this area, so it's not them, but it could be you, Wade. So now I can't just shoot first and ask questions later, because I could hit you instead of you just staying in the house. Like, stuff like that, I'm like, bro, you're extending this entire story, which is why I'm just like, I can't tell if Wade is just stupid or if the author is making him that way, because otherwise it could have been handled and done within this scene. So I'm just like, those scenes aggravate. Like, to the point where I'm almost like, I need to take a break from this book. My blood pressures can't take this, because what? You came outside because you were concerned that I what? No. Anyway, that's the book I'm reading. I will definitely leave a review. If you're new here, I don't like like the 5-star rating system, because it's so subjective. It's so subjective. There are things about the book that I like. There are things about it that aggravate me. That's it. That's all. I will reflect that in a review, should I write one. And other than that, yeah. Would I recommend this book? I would recommend this book to people who like mystery, like thrillers, what if whodunit type of things, who don't necessarily want a bunch of romance. There. If you like a little bit of romance, sure, there. If you like sweet romance, I wouldn't call it sweet, but they're not having sex. But I don't think that their romance is sweet, unless we're only saying sweet is a more palatable way of saying clean, as in there's no profanity or explicit material. There is no profanity, there's no explicit material, but I don't find them sweet at all. So yeah, I wouldn't describe it as sweet. I would say there is a romance subplot. It's a super subplot, and it does nothing for me. I could do this entire book without it. The Ellery Hathaway detective series, I liked that romance better than I liked this one, and not because they were having sex. Like the tension between them, the romantic tension between them before it became sexual. Like they had romantic tension before it was even sexualized. That was more satisfying as a romantic subplot than this. So I guess that's how I would stack it up. If you have not read the Ellery Hathaway series and you're curious, I did a book review on it, so definitely go on and check that out. This is the longest Girl What You Reading I've done yet, so sorry. They're supposed to be 5 minutes, but I have the gift of gab. What do you want from me? Anyway, more next week, hopefully. I missed last week because I was traveling, and I could have the same issue next week, but I'll try to be mindful enough to pre-record. Anyway, y'all have an amazing day. Let me know if you've read any of Lynette Eason's books, if you love another one that you think I should check out, if this series sounds interested in you, if you have other recs for Christian bodyguard romances or Christian thrillers, Christian mysteries. I love it. Bring it all. All right. Y'all have a great day. Bye. Oh, I forgot. My book is linked in the description. You should go buy that. A Church Girl's Guide to Courting Danger, a Forced Proximity Christian Romance. You should absolutely check it out. If you like sweet romance, it is sweet. If you like some action, not like action, pew pew action. If you like pew pew action, you should definitely check it out. And if you like discussions of like church hurt, dealing with childhood trauma, journeys of forgiveness, then you should definitely check out A Church Girl's Guide to Courting Danger. It will be linked in the description. It's available on Amazon Kindle, and it is free if you have Kindle Unlimited. So check it out today for the low price of $4.99 or free $99. All right, like, subscribe, comment, share.